Hi, I'm Afton Campbell. I'm 12 years old and I'm a TFK Kid Reporter. I'm here with Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Dr. Fauci, thank you for answering my questions today.
My pleasure. It's good to be with you, Afton.
Let's jump right into our questions. Kids 12 and over can now get vaccinated. Can they safely attend overnight camp this summer? And can they safely sleep in a tent or cabin with someone who is not vaccinated?
You know, from the individual standpoint of your safety, the fact that you're vaccinated and fully vaccinated means the likelihood of your getting infected is extraordinarily low. So you could safely do that. One of the things that could be confusing is that the CDC is trying to get guidelines for camps to keep everyone safe. But as an individual yourself, could you feel comfortable both indoors and outdoors while you're vaccinated? The answer is yes.
That's such a relief to hear. Many school districts have announced that they won't have a distance learning option for the fall. If not all kids are able to be vaccinated by then, how can they stay safe and protect their families from getting sick?
Well, what likely will happen, it's going to depend very much, Afton, on what the level of infection in the community is. That's always a factor that influences the CDC guidelines. So if in fact there's a degree of infection dynamics in the community, that kids who are not vaccinated for one reason or another might prompt the CDC to say, yes, we will go to school. Everyone will be in person. No more virtual. It'll be in-person class, but you'll have to wear a mask. However, if you have most of the teachers, and likely there'll be greater than 80% of the teachers will be vaccinated, and if the kids are vaccinated, now the problem is going to be if you're talking about 12 to 16 or 17 high school students, that's a different story because it likely will not be until we get well into the end of 2021 that kids from 12 to 9, 9 to 6, 6 to 2 years old are going to get vaccinated. But for you, when you go back to school, what will likely happen if the level of infection is so low in the community, the CDC might make the option and the recommendation that they will not necessarily require masks. If we still have a lot of activity of virus, the CDC may still require some children to be wearing masks depending upon the level of virus in the community and the degree of vaccination.
Do you recommend wearing a mask even if other people aren't at school?
You know, that's going to be a CDC recommendation. As I mentioned, that will in fact depend on the level of vaccination and the level of infection in the community. So what the problem, Afton, is that the CDC is struggling with to make everyone feel safe and protective is when you have mixed groups. If you have nobody vaccinated, it's easy. If you have everybody vaccinated, it's easy. But when you have mixed groups of people vaccinated and not, there will be the concern that there will be some spread of infection in the school, and therefore the CDC might, depending upon the level of infection in community, say that in this particular community, with very low and virtually no infection at all, you shouldn't have to wear a mask. Whereas someplace else where you have a dynamic of infection, even though some of the kids are vaccinated, you might still have to wear a mask. So we leave that up to the CDC to make that determination based on the factors that I just mentioned. But the one thing that's interesting is that you as a vaccinated person should feel absolutely safe that you're going to be okay. That's the thing. Whether or not what's surrounding you is going to dictate you're wearing a mask, you should feel that you are going to be safe from getting infected.
My last question is, what was the first thing you did after you got vaccinated?
The first thing I did after I was fully vaccinated was to get our friends and neighbors who we like very much, who, because we wanted to be outdoors in order to decrease the risk of infection before we were vaccinated, to finally, since the weather was so cool at the time, to sit down with friends at a meal without a mask, since everybody in the room was vaccinated. But before everybody got vaccinated, we did it outside. And boy, was it cold out there.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
It's my pleasure. It's good to have been with you. Take care of yourself now.
Thank you.